Thomas Sutherland, American, June 9, 1985. Joseph James Sicipio, American, September 12, 1986. Edward Austin Tracy.
At this moment, 13 innocent men are held captive, chained to walls in dark basements somewhere in Beirut. 9 are Americans. All are hostages of Middle Eastern terrorists, prisoners without a crime.
Terry A. Anderson, American, March 16, 1985.
This is unacceptable. It is not our history. It is not our legacy that we as Americans have ever or will ever ignore human rights violations perpetrated against our people. Find a way to resolve it. It should be that simple.
4 years ago, Peggy Say's brother was kidnapped off a Beirut street. Terry Anderson has since become a name most of us recognize. An Associated Press bureau chief assigned to Lebanon, he was abducted on March 16, 1985. Tapes sent by the terrorists confirm Terry is alive. Peggy wants him home. And in the face of all odds, she's led a frustrated one-woman crusade to get him back.
Why do I have to spend my life and my time making a case for these hostages and providing the answers to people who are paid to find the answers, to know the answers? I am a housewife. You know, I shouldn't be asked to tell this government how to perform its foreign policy.
The policy is we do not make deals with terrorists, and we don't encourage other people to do so, and we're not going to put pressure on other governments to give in to the demands of terrorists.
In this case, those demands include the release of 17 terrorists from a Kuwait jail. Officially, negotiations are non-existent, which leaves families back home with little more than hopes and prayers. Father Lawrence Jenko endured nearly 2 years in captivity and at one point shared a cell with Terry.
Well, you're in a room 12 by 15 feet. It's a room that's sealed. There's no air. You never look out. You never see outside. You're allowed to go to the toilet 15 minutes a day, and the rest of the time is within 4 walls.
Father Jenko was released in July of 1986. Terry's last words to him were, "Promise me one thing, that I'm never forgotten."
It's a horrible frustration. And especially wondering if anyone even cares or is doing anything about your situation.
Mr. President, I say again, this cannot continue. There is a limit to how long we can last, and some of us are approaching that limit very rapidly.
Those are the thoughts that fuel Peggy's fire. Her relentless attempts at securing her brother's release have included meetings at the White House and trips to the Middle East. Peggy has met with every former hostage who made it out of Beirut, including a Frenchman who assured her that Terry knew of her efforts.
And he said to me, "Oh, yes, my dear, Terry's well aware of what you're doing, and you are his hope for freedom. He knows that as long as you're out there, the world will not forget him and he will live." From that moment on, I never looked back. I know that I can count on Terry's faith and determination, his strength and his goodness to bring him through this terrible ordeal.
Peggy takes her campaign to communities and colleges. She writes speeches and articles. She lobbies with anyone who'll listen, rallying support to get the hostages out. She is visible and vocal. But there are those who suggest that Peggy's high profile may be prolonging her brother's captivity. They say Peggy's publicity keeps Terry's captors in the news.
I think they think very carefully about what they're doing. I think that they're very well aware of how American public media and opinion works, and they try very consciously to manipulate it.
Anybody that wants to criticize me, go for it. It rolls off my back. I am doing exactly what my brother wants me to do, and that is what I will continue to do until the day he reaches freedom, and I no longer care what anybody says about it.
Much has happened since Terry's abduction. This is his daughter, Sulemi. He's never seen her. His father has died, although he doesn't know. And so has his brother, who just a month before sent a deathbed plea to Terry's captors.
Please release him. I wish to see him one more time. Please release him. Thank you.
And we have seen Terry on tape. 3 times the terrorists have sent messages to us, proof to Peggy that Terry is alive.
The news I hear tells me that you have not forgotten, and I know you will not.
The third videotape showed me that the only thing that they can do to hurt Terry Anderson is to kill him, because he has been tempered by the fire. You know, he is determined to survive.
And so Peggy persists, her energy and determination unstoppable. Peggy believes that she will see her brother again, but until that day, she'll continue her relentless mission to gain her brother's freedom.
When Terry Anderson gets off that plane, I can look him in the face and know that I did every damn thing I could think of, and then some.